Hi, my name is Leah Blinstrub, and I'm a registered dietitian health coach for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Emotional eating is any eating for reasons other than hunger. So if you're not eating because you're hungry or you need some kind of nutritional substance, then that's what they consider emotional eating. Food is such a big part of everyone's life. It's easy to see why emotional eating is something that we have to be concerned about, because you eat when you're hungry, you eat when you're happy, you eat to celebrate, you eat when you're upset sometimes. And one of the main concerns is that if you're eating for reasons other than hunger or nutritional needs, then you run the risk of gaining weight. And excess weight gain is something that's challenging to get off, and it's not necessarily good for your health either. So that's why we want to be extra mindful. We all generally associate emotional eating with sometimes negative emotions, but one of the best examples I like to use is just boredom. So say for instance, you're in the office, you've eaten a full breakfast, you're full, you're not hungry at all, but someone brings in a box of donuts. They come in, they offer you a donut, it's there, you know it's there. You want the donut, it tastes good, but you don't need it by any means. But you find yourself going up and maybe you eat one donut. Or maybe it's a really difficult day and you're stressed and maybe you're bored, or maybe the day has been really long and you haven't taken a lunch. Whatever it might be, you eat a second donut. Those are the kinds of things that you want to be extra mindful of, because there are reasons that you're eating that you're not getting the nutritional value you need. You maybe aren't as hungry if you're eating out of boredom, and it's extra calories that can end up as extra weight that you don't want. If you've ever been concerned about whether or not you're emotionally eating, or if you know you've been an emotional eater in the past, something that I recommend is just starting with documentation. So carry around a journal and aim for 3 days. So do at least 2 weekdays and at least 1 weekend day, and document where you eat, what you eat, how you're feeling, and then also on a scale of 1 to 5, your hunger level. 5 being most hungry, 1 being you're not hungry at all. And then second step is to go back and analyze your information. Is there a place that you find that you're eating most often? Is there a time that you find you tend to overeat? Or is there maybe an emotion that you tend to feel and associate with overeating most often? And then once you have those results, develop an action plan. Go back through and decide one place that you can do something a little bit different that would be an improvement for you. So a list of strategies to start with if you do find that you are emotionally eating is 1, try and keep busy. If you find that you're eating out of boredom, then make an effort to plan something around the time that you tend to be most bored. So if it's planning to do an event in the community or volunteer, or maybe even plan to go to the gym at that time or take a quick walk. 2, you can assess your physiological need for hunger. If you notice on your hunger scale that you document between 1 and 5 that you're a 3, 4, or 5, then make sure you have something to eat. If you notice you're anything less than a 3, then make sure that you just walk away from eating, because that's an indication that you're not truly hungry and you're eating for some other reason other than hunger. And 3, plan in advance. If you find a certain situation is challenging, then make sure that you do your best to try and control the aspects of that situation that you can. So for instance, if you're at a work function and you know that all of your coworkers are wonderful cooks but tend to bring things that aren't necessarily healthy, be the one to bring a fruit tray or a vegetable platter, and then that way at least you know you have something healthy that's an option. 4 is change your old habits. If you find that you're an evening snacker and to relax you generally do something that involves eating, maybe pick something that keeps your hands busy and your mind active so that the snacking isn't quite as normal. 5 is address the emotion. If you find there's something that's really bothering you that you tend to cover up with food, maybe see if the emotion is something that you can address, or something that needs to be worked around, or possibly something that you need to work with someone else. 6 is get help. If you find that you're emotionally eating, you've done your documentation, and you haven't been able to come up with a strategy that's working for you, consider talking to your physician or making an appointment with a mental health expert or a dietitian. There are all kinds of support groups available. You can try the Blue Cross website. For the binge eating module is helpful. Also, you can try Overeaters Anonymous, or maybe even a local group that could be helpful for support as well. Lastly, acknowledge that emotional eating is a challenge. This is going to be a task and a change, so give yourself some leeway. Make sure that you're being positive when you're talking to yourself. If you find that you are emotionally eating and you're working on making changes, give yourself credit for the changes that you're able to make, and if you find that you slip up a little bit, that's okay. Just take notes from what you're doing and maybe how you can improve next time. For more information, visit BCBSM.com.